so we've always been resourceful. And the worse that you go through, the more resourceful you become. And so we always had to use whatever was at hand and then turn it into art. And that's why it's very hard for people who have not been through anything to really be genuinely creative geniuses, because it takes something to make you make something. You have to go through something in order to say, I'm going to do this in spite of. Some of the greatest special effects that I had on my paintings are when I was really low on paint and I had to do stupid stuff to stretch it. I would take my pliers and, squeeze the last bit out, and then I would take that last bit and throw it, and that would start to create effects. When you use fabric art and have the little bottles, and you got to get the last bit down to the bottom and you squeeze it out and it creates an effect, and then you say, I like that effect. So there were some things that the bottles that were almost empty could do that the others could not do. And you don't realize what you've done until you go to New York or Chicago and people say, the special effects that you have in your art is just incredible. And they don't know where it came from. It came from running out of paint and running out of canvas and having to improvise and paint on burlap a lot, because that was what was at hand, and had to extra coat it, but it was worth it because the surface is so unique. So when you don't have specialists that care about that, it's very easy to let that just go or something. Just like when you don't teach home economics, you just miss out on a lot. You don't teach art in school. It's easier to get an art scholarship than a football scholarship. It's easier to get an art scholarship than a band scholarship. Mm-hmm. But we don't promote that. And it almost doesn't make sense, but that's my job. So, when I complained to God about it, God said, you're an artist, get to work, talk to them. So I just got to doing a workshop in Spencerville, Maryland, the most incredible church school I've ever seen. And they won an award for the most multicultural private school in the state of Maryland. And this was an incredible situation. Worked with the kids for a few days. They have an art teacher, but their art teacher could not teach them what I teach them because I do it for a living. She teaches for a living, and that makes a difference. So if we want to have great artists, they need to hear great artists. They need to see great artists. They need to know that I can be a millionaire doing this. They need to feel that it's just multiplication, that I create. And we are one of the few occupations that the world cannot do without. There's no building that you can sit in that was not designed by an artist. There's no table you can eat on that wasn't designed by an artist. All the food that's packaged was packaged, the design was by an artist. Mm-hmm. And we feel like, in general, artists feel that we're at the lowest end of the totem pole, but we're at the highest end. Mm-hmm. And so every church is designed by an artist. And so we are at the top of the ladder, and we act like we're waiting to be discovered. And that is a problem, because most artists that I know have low self-esteem. They don't know where to go to get encouragement. They don't know how they can make money. And it's so much money being made in art. It's so much, and it's always there. The most important person that I met that did not buy my art, but made the biggest influence on my life, was Lena Horne. So, talked to her road manager and said, yes, I brought the art to him, and he showed it to her. And so he called me back and he said, she wants to meet you. And so I said, really? He said, yes. So I came down to the hotel she was staying at. She came to the lobby. We're sitting in the lobby and just talking like old friends. And she said something that I had never heard before. She said, I really, really like your art. I said, but it's just so masculine. And I had never heard that before. They said, it's just dark and foreboding, but it's it's pretty in its own way, but it's just dark. Women like things light and bright and colorful. And I was like, wow. They said, we've been in prison or something. It's just these dark reds and browns and black. And I was like, no, but I was laughing so hard. And I was saying, you know, I've never heard my art referred to as masculine. But I said, it is. I said, I'm gonna have to do something about that. And she said, but I love your art. And, you know, I'm just glad I got a chance to see it, but I'd like to see something with brighter colors. That moment, I went and bought brighter colors. And immediately people began to see the difference in my art. And I actually became a colorist. I'm known as a colorist now because my colors are so bright. And people said, where do you get these colors and how do you create these? I said, you know, I'm a colorist and I was influenced by the right person. And I never got a chance to tell her, you know, how much I appreciated that. But I sold a lot more art because, you know, I love color. But it's because of her. And then I see young artists and I see all the dark colors they use. And I kind of smile to myself. I said, well, when I mentor them, I can help them. But, you know, you don't want to just go up to somebody, you need to brighten that up a little bit. You know? But she made a difference in my life. And one of the components that I would like to share for Message Magazine.
Yeah.
And I may not have my own article, but anyway. When I sell art to people, I usually would give them desire pages or something like that. But when you spend $3,500 for a piece of art and somebody gives you a book, you will respect the book because you just gave them some money. And so they'll look at it. And I had one athlete who's in the Hall of Fame, statue downtown Atlanta, look at that book and he said, man, you don't know how bad I need this book. And I was like, you know, God told me to give it to you. And I know I couldn't give it to a better person. And this is what God has opened door after door after door. I had Dr. Jamal Bryant, I don't know if you know who he is. I gave him a desire pages. So he reads a book a week. And so he was telling me, I was telling him, you know, they asked me to say something at our camp meeting. And I wanted to know if you would say something about the book. And so I said, you can just do it, you know, on your phone and just send it to me. He said, you gonna be showing this to an audience with people? And I said, yeah. He said, no. He said, I'm gonna go to my media people. I'll do something really nice. And so he did a video before camp meeting about that book. And it was very beautiful. I'll let you see it. But it's only like a minute, but it was very powerful. He's such a visionary.
Okay.
So but this is what my life has been. God has ordered my steps. And when I tell you, He's opened door after door after door.